What is up, guys? It's Yugi Bros, and we have a duel video today that is mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say. First off, let me say, I'm finally glad that these are all in the speed duel part of the game, so I don't have to do the 8,000 thing anymore. We are playing My Precious Queen, a Weevil skill from the new box. It says at the start of the duel, you flip it over, you can normal summon level 7 insect monsters for 1 less tribute. This was created for Insect Queen, but we are not playing Insect Queen, we're playing Brain Crusher, and I'll get to him in a second. The other effect this has is once per turn during the end phase, you can special summon 1 insect monster token, Insect Earth, level 1, attack defense 100 each. This token cannot be tributed except for the tribute summon of an insect monster or their effects. In the last effect, you can tribute an insect monster from your hand instead when attacking with Insect Queen monsters you control. We're not using that because we don't play Insect Queen. I would play Insect Queen if it didn't have a mandatory effect to summon a token in attack position with 100 attack at your end phase, if it killed something. Unfortunately, it does that. So instead, we're just playing good old Brain Crusher, another new card from the box. It's a level 7 insect monster with 24 attack, 15 defense. Dark level 7, so with the skill, it becomes 1 less tribute. And it says, once per turn during the end phase, if it destroyed an opponent's monster by battle and sent it to the grave this turn while you controlled it, you can target one of those destroyed monsters in the grave and special summon it. So it's kind of Go-Yo Guardian, but it's a little slower and it's during the end phase. The opponent is on the string skill Slimy Slimes, which we'll see when they reveal it in a second, and they too are playing a token deck. So, they're going to go first. They're going to normal Reactor Slime, another new card from the box. During the main phase, you can activate this effect, summon 2 slime tokens, 500, 500. Also, you cannot normal or special for the rest of the turn except Divine Beast monsters. They're going to then activate Supply Squad and pass. On our end phase, we get the skill, which puts a 100 token on our field. I love that Duelingbook now lets us edit stats, and the sheen that these have to activate is also really cool. We're going to draw into another Brain Crusher. Activate Supply Squad. We're going to normal summon Cross Sword Beetle. This card is cool. While you control another insect monster, an insect monster you control that attacks a defense monster does piercing. And because our token is an insect, this now says all our insects do piercing. We're going to, however, attack the Reactor Slime. Reactor Slime will then trigger here. Reactor Slime has a quick effect where during the battle phase, quick effect, you contribute this card, set a Metal Reflex Slime from your hand deck or graveyard. It can be activated this turn. So they will set a Metal Reflex Slime, and we'll get a Redeclare and swing into a token. And they have 500, 500, and then they take 13 because our monster does piercing. Supply Squad lets them draw a card, and will pass. And then in the end phase, our skill makes another token. They're going to draw into Slifer the Sky Dragon. Interesting. It's almost like a strings deck, right? We're going to draw into Book of Moon. We're going to tribute a insect token for our Brain Crusher. We're going to set Book, go to battle phase, have the Cross Sword swing into the token. They'll take another 1300. They're going to draw off Squad, and because Squad doesn't care if the monster is sent to the grave, so free token, free draws, that's why we're playing it as well. We're going to Brain Crusher try to swing for game here, but they flip the Reflex Slime, and it's got 3000 defense. We could have edited the stats there, I just realized, but we didn't, so just take my word for it, that's what it does. Gonna draw on a Mother Grizzly and set it. Interesting, Mother Grizzly in this deck actually brings out Reactor Slime, can also bring out Revival Jam, which we'll get to in a second. We draw into Token SUNDAE. Guys, this card's crazy. Destroy as many tokens you control as possible. Then destroy cards on the field up to the number of tokens destroyed by this effect. So we're going to destroy our 1 token, get rid of the Reflex Slime, go right to battle phase, have our Brain Crusher punch their monster. It's Mother Grizzly. They're going to draw with Supply Squad, chain 1 because it's mandatory. Mother Grizzly, chain 2. Mother Grizzly brings out Revival Jam and draws a card off of the Supply Squad. Then our Cross Sword Beetle is going to punch this Revival Jam for 300. Revival Jam will then trigger, which says if it dies by battle and sent to the grave, you can pay 1000 special summon in defense during your next standby phase. The reason they're going to play this card and do that is the skill, and then we get to summon their Mother Grizzly because of Brain Crusher's effect. So they're going to draw the Slimy Slime skill. We'll let them flip it there. It was supposed to be face up anyways. activates. This card says once per turn during your main phase, you can destroy a jam, breeding machine you control, and one spell or trap your opponent controls. The other effect is once per turn during the standby phase. If you special summon Revival Jam by its own effect, draw 3 cards, guys. 3 cards. It's almost like we're playing Slifer for a reason, right? So Revival will come back, and then they will draw 3 cards. And dude, this is so crazy. This deck has how many cards in hand right now? They're gonna activate Fiend Sanctuary, making a Metal Fiend token. They're gonna activate Fiend Sanctuary, making a Metal Fiend token. They're gonna then tribute all 3
to summon the almighty Slifer, the Sky Dragon!
That thing is 7,000 attack and defense. We have this book, but we can't negate the summon. We can't use the cards on the summon, but we can still out it. They're going to activate Double Cyclone, targeting their set and book. We're going to chain book, flip the Slifer face down. However, it still gains defense equal to the cards in the hand, so we can't really out this. If they had just Double Cycloned first, they could have just punched us for straight game. Unfortunately, they did not, and we draw into Howling Insect. We're going to switch everything to defense because we cannot deal with the god card known as Slifer the Sky Dragon. They're going to draw into Mother Grizzly. They're going to flip Slifer face up. It is now 6,000 attack. They're going to punch into our Cross Sword Beetle. We're going to draw a card. We are not going to draw a card due to our Supply Squad. We forget to use the Squad's effect there, and then we will make a token in the end phase. They're going to draw into Double Summon. They're going to go normal Reactor Slime, activate Creature Swap. I'll be honest, the one draw we could have gotten off Squad really doesn't matter at this point.
It's time! Now! Go! Slifer the Sky Dragon!
Slifer now at 5,000 is going to swing over this Reactor Slime, but that's 45, and that's just straight game. So we're gonna have them go first. We're gonna elect to go second. They're going to normal Reactor Slime once again. It's like we've seen this rerun or something. Then I'm gonna set Double Cyclone and Reflex Slime before passing to us. End phase, we get a token. I think this skill is really crazy because if you can generate enough tokens and do enough things with cards like Token SUNDAE, tokens be damned, man. Tokens be damned. We're going to set Howling Insect, and then we're going to go to end phase and activate the skill once again, making a token. We're doing this because we have Token SUNDAE, so we would like to pop as many cards on their field as possible, so we might as well build some walls. They're going to start out by drawing Slifer, flip their skill this time like a smart person. Switch Reactor to defense and pass. We're going to draw in a Brain Crusher. We're going to activate Verdant Sanctuary. When a face-up insect monster is destroyed by battle card effect sent to the grave, its controller can add an insect with the same level as the destroyed monster from their deck to the hand. It's pretty nifty. It doesn't work here because the monster has to be sent to the grave. Also, we don't have any level 1s in the deck, but it does work with Howling Insect. They're going to say okay to Token SUNDAE, so because it destroys that resolution and does not target, they can't then chain those things after we destroy them. We're going to flip Howling Insect, summon Gokipon, have Gokipon swing into Reactor. They're going to activate Reactor, which sets the Reflex Slime, and then we're going to replay, hit a token, and then Howling will hit the other token. And just like that, they have nothing except the Slifer. End phase, we get a token, and they'll draw for turn into Creature Swap. They're going to normal Mother Grizzly, go to battle phase, punch our Gokipon. We're going to take 600. We're going to activate Gokipon's effect. We tried activating Verdant, forgetting that we sided out Parasite Paranoid, so much for that. We're just going to use Gokipon's effect to add Resonance Insect before they pass back to us. In the end phase, we get a token, and we will draw for turn. We hit a Book of Moon, really good. We're going to tribute a token for Brain Crusher. They let that go. We're going to set this Book of Moon. We're going to have Brain Crusher punch the Grizzly for 1,000. Grizzly will activate, summoning the Revival Jam in defense mode, obviously goading us to try to punch it, but we're just going to pass instead. And they draw into Supply Squad, so now that Revival Jam is even more of a nuisance than it was before. We're going to draw into Cross Sword Beetle, We're going to go straight to battle phase. We're going to have our Howling Insect punch the Revival. They're going to use Squad Chain 1, Revival Chain 2. They'll pay 1,000, and then Squad will draw them a card. We're going to punch for 24 off the Crusher, and then they flip the Reflex Slime. Oh, that thing's a really annoying card to try it out. Standby phase. Revival comes back, and Slimy Slimes, man. This skill... Oh, boy. They'll draw 3. They're going to activate a second Squad. Then they're going to double Cyclone the Squad and our face down. We're going to chain Book on the Reflect. Cool little known fact, trap monsters, if they are flipped face down, they go back in the Spell and Trap Zone. But if the Spell and Trap Zones are all occupied, they just get sent to the grave. So Book of Moon sends the Reflect to the grave here. Then they're going to set the Grizzly. We're going to draw into Brain Crusher. We're going to attribute a token for it. We're going to punch the Revival Jam. They're going to use its effect, chain 1. I'm sorry. Squad would be chain 1. And then Jam's effect would be chain 2. So they'll draw the card off Squad. They'll pay the 1,000 for Revival. And then the Mother Grizzly is the other one that's getting attacked. And you would think no matter what they summon, unless it's 1,500 attack exactly, the Brain Crusher would be able to swing for game. It has to summon in attack mode, so that's a screw up on our part. However, it doesn't matter. What's going to happen is we're going to attack it, they're going to quick effect tribute it, and then set Metal Reflex Slime from the grave. It can be hand deck or grave, which is crazy. So they're going to re-swing. Also, the Reactor Slime can be activated the turn through its effect, so then they're going to flip the Reflex Slime, and we're just going to have to pass because we can't get over it. Draw phase, they'll draw a swap. In the standby, they'll bring back Revival. The skill will activate. They'll get 3 cards, and oh my god, they have Obelisk and Slifer with 1,000,000 cards in hand. They're going to activate Fiend Sanctuary before obviously tributing all 3.
To summon the almighty Slifer, the Sky Dragon!
Comes out at 7,000 attack points. They're going to activate a Fiend Sanctuary, make the token, just I assume as an extra defense in case I guess we had a Sphere Karibo. Because all the damage, if we attack the token, gets redirected at us. And maybe I guess hand limit here. But either way, 6,000 is still more than enough. And sadly, we lose again. So to showcase more of these decks, we're going to play a best 3 out of 5. Since those were so quick, we're going to start out with Resonance Insect, Offerings to the Doomed. In our end phase, we're going to get our token. They're going to draw for their turn, adding double Cyclone, flipping their skill, normaling a Mother Grizzly, setting a Floodgate and a double summon, going to battle phase, having the Grizzly punch our monster. It's Resonance Insect, another card from the box. It says if it's sent from the field to grave, add a level 5 or higher insect from your deck to your hand, and if it's banished, you can send an insect monster from your deck to the grave, except Resonance Insect. So we're going to add Brain Crusher, because that's quite literally the only thing we play. We'd play other insects if there were other insects that were level 7 in this game. Unfortunately, it's straight, quite literally Brain Crusher and Insect Queen. They're going to go to end phase, double Cyclone one and the other. We're going to chain Offerings, hit the Mother Grizzly since we're going to lose it otherwise. Popping their double summon. End phase, we get a token, and then we'll draw for turn. Just kidding, we won't draw. Offerings doesn't let us draw. So we're going to attribute a token for Brain Crusher. They're going to immediately Floodgate Trap hold that. And that's kind of a problem because now we can't do any damage. We're going to make a token. But that's really it. We can't do a whole lot with this. We do have the token SUNDAE as a precautionary play. But, you know, not much we can do. They draw into Swap and Pass because they don't have anything they can do. We're going to draw into Book, set that, pass. They're going to draw into Reflex Slime, set that, and pass. We can't flip this monster due to Floodgate, and I'm really annoyed by it. We're going to token SUNDAE. It says up to, so we don't have to destroy all of them. I'm sorry, we don't have to destroy as an equal number. We have to destroy all the tokens we control as possible, and then we destroy it up to the number of tokens destroyed by this effect. So we're going to hit the 1 Reflex Slime. We're going to normal Cross-Sword Beetle, go to battle phase, and swing for 1,800 before passing back, and then getting a token in the end phase so that we do piercing from this point on with our insects. They're going to draw into Mother Grizzly. They're going to set that and pass. We're going to draw into Widespread Ruin. Really good against God cards because it doesn't target. We're going to punch their defense. They're going to take 800, and the Grizzly's effect will summon good old Revival Jam. I can't believe I'm saying this, but this card is scary because of this skill. I'm going to draw an Obelisk the Tormentor and pass, goading us to punch this Revival Jam. We're going to set a Widespread. We're going to go to battle. We're going to finally punch this Revival Jam. They'll take 300. They'll activate its effect. They're going to pay another 1,000, so they're at 100. And hopefully we can capitalize. Unfortunately, they draw here, then they draw 3 more due to the skill. And they draw into Emergency Provisions, another new card from the box. We'll get to that in a second. They're going to set a card, activate Fiend Sanctuary, and then chain Emergency Provisions. This says they can send any number of other spell or trap cards they control to the grave to gain 1,000 life points for each card sent this way, which is really good in this deck considering you pay a lot of life early with Revival and they are at 100. So they're going to send Fiend Sanctuary and chain to Fiend Sanctuary and the set double summon, so they gain 2,000 off the Emergency Provisions, and then Fiend Sanctuary still resolves making a token. So they gain 2,000 there. It's really good for them. They're going to normal Reactor, switch Revival to attack mode and pass. We draw into Cosmic Cyclone. That's not the card. We're going to flip Book of Moon, setting this Revival Jam, and punching it with Crossword Beetle. They're going to take 1,300, and obviously they can't do an effect because they'd have to pay 1,000, and they don't have that life total anymore. I'm going to draw on a Reflect, set the Reflect. Oh yeah, standby phase, you have to pay, you either pay 1,000 life points to keep the token up, or it dies, and since they can't pay 1,000, that'll die, and then they're going to set Reactor to defense before passing back. We're going to draw in a book. We're going to snipe the heck out of that back row with Cosmic Cyclone. We're going to set a card, go to battle phase, swing into this Reactor. They're going to obviously chain it, bringing out a Metal Reflex Slime, and then activating Metal Reflex Slime so he can't kill it. They're going to draw into Squad, activate the Squad, and pass. We're going to draw into Swamp, go to battle phase, activate Book of Moon, setting the Reflex Slime, and it acts here as a trap card, so they'd have to activate it. Or they can't activate it the turn that was set because it's a trap, and we actually steal a game. So we're going to make them go first again. They're going to set 3, and we're going to make a token in the end phase before drawing for turn into Howling Insect. We're going to normal Crossword Beetle, swing in for 18. They're going to flip Reflex Slime, and we can't do anything about that, so we'll make a token and pass. We're going to draw into Mother Grizzly, normal to Mother Grizzly. Swing into the Crossword Beetle. This is actually an interesting idea on their part. They're going to take 400, use its effect, summoning out Revival Jam. They're going to have then Revival Jam punch the monster. They're going to take 300 more. Then they're going to use Revival's effect, pay 1,000 before passing to us. We're going to draw into Howling Insect. We're going to activate Token SUNDAE. They're going to activate Emergency Provisions as a response, which, I mean, that's probably fair. Everything's going to die in a second anyway. Attributing both the creature swap, and keep in mind this is still a trap card, so they can send that with Emergency Provisions to gain another 1,000. So they'll gain 2,000 here, and then we have to try to win this turn. Unfortunately, we cannot do that, so we will do as much damage as possible, which is 1,200 and 1,800 before passing back to them. We'll make a token in the end phase, and they will draw. They'll hit double Cyclone. We'll let them flip the skill. It should have been flipped in the beginning. Revival Jam comes back in the standby. Then this gives them 3 draws. They're going to draw into Obelisk, Floodgate, and Fiend Sanctuary. They're going to activate the Fiend Sanctuary, making a token, setting a double Cyclone and a Floodgate, and passing. Unfortunately, both those gods can't come out yet, and we are relishing in the moment. We're going to go straight to battle phase, have Crossword swing into the Revival Jam. They're going to say that's okay, and then we're going to shotgun this Book of Moon so they take exactly 1,300. Guys, can we make the reverse sweep happen? And all of a sudden, we are tied 2-2. We are going to try and win this match desperately. trying to come back. Another new card we're playing in here, Reverse Beetle. This is an insect, so we can summon it out with Howling Insect, which is nuts. It says if it's normal or special summon, it changes this card and any monsters in its column to face down defense. Now columns be damned. We have to play around columns now because of Reverse Beetle. Its flip effect also says shuffle this card and any face-up monsters in its column into the decks. Key note here, if it's being destroyed by battle and it flips like that, this will still go to the grave, but it will still shuffle the monsters in its column to the decks. We had to double check that ruling before we played this game. They're gonna draw into Supply Squad, activate their Slimy Slime, summon Reactor Slime, make some tokens. Activate Supply Squad. They apparently had a change of heart and they're going to put the tokens in defense. That's fine by us. They're going to have their reactor hit our token, and end phase we get a token. But it does keep us off a second token in case we draw into Token SUNDAE. Makes sense. We're going to draw into Howling. We're just going to pass and make a token. And there we go. So they're going to draw into Reflect, and I think they saw what we were up to, and they're not going to let us stay on 2 tokens, so they're going to switch one of their tokens to attack mode and have their reactor punch the other one. So we'll get 1 in the end phase, but we're back on just 1, and, you know, they know what we're up to, so we're going to try a different strat here. We're going to activate Token SUNDAE for the 1, get rid of the Supply Squad, because that card is crazy in that deck. Normal the Howling Insect, flip a Howling Insect, and go to Battle Phase. Punching the reactor, they're going to chain reactor, get back the metal reflex slime. The other one was in their hands, so you know clearly this is the first one here. They're going to, so we get the redeclare, punch the token that's in attack mode, and then this howling's going to punch the one that's in defense mode, and we're going to pass. And we're not going to use our skill. The reason we do that is because it kind of would lock us. We want both of these to stay on the field because if they die by battle, they summon other insects. And I want to keep the zone open in case we need a Reverse Beetle for, you know, any shenanigans. We're going to normal Grizzly, punch into the Howling Insect. We're going to take 200, use its effect. Supposed to be 200. I don't know why we did 300 there. Summon out our Pinch Hopper. It's a cool card. If it is sent to the graveyard, you can special summon an insect from the hand. Keep in mind it can miss timing though. So if you were to tribute summon off of it by tributing it, the last thing to happen would be the monster being summoned. So this would miss timing in that situation. End phase, we're going to make a token. Then we're going to draw a Gokipon. Go into the main phase, we're going to tribute that token off for Brain Crusher, go to battle, have Pinch Hopper swing into Mother Grizzly. We're going to take 400, Pinch Hopper goes to the grave, we're going to trigger its effect, summoning out another insect from our hand, like another Brain Crusher, then this one's going to punch the Grizzly for 1,000, then that Grizzly triggers, and they're going to bring out good old Revival Jam, and now we have a decision to make. Do we hit it? Do we not? Well, they put it in defense, so I guess we'll hit it and try to punch in for 24 for game, even though we know they have a Reflex Slime. They take 1,000 off Reflect, and they're going to flip the Slime, and we're going to have to pass. Draw phase, they hit another Reactor Slime. They're going to bring back Revival Jam, and then they're going to draw 3 off the skill. And they hit Supply Squad, and Double Summon. Guys, holy crap. They activate 2 squads here and pass. So now if we kill the Revival Jam, they're going to draw 1 each off the squad, so that's 2. And then off the next standby phase, when it comes back, Slimy Slime's going to give them another 3 cards. It's just going to draw an entirely new hand. We draw on a widespread, though, so that's really good against God cards, because it doesn't target. We're going to switch Howling to defense and pass. They're going to draw a swap and pass. We're going to draw into Offerings to the Doomed. We're going to try and end this. We're going to Offerings the Reflex Slime. They're going to draw 2 off the squads, which is crazy. Hits an Obelisk and a Reactor. We're going to have Howling hit the Reflect. Then they're going to trigger its effect. So they're going to go down to 300. Then we're going to try to punch here for game. They have the Reflex Slime though. We are forced to pass. They're going to draw into Slifer. Bring back Revival Jam. Get a 3 of draw. God, it's so dumb. And then they're gonna double Cyclone the Widespread, which was our only out to a God card. They're gonna double summon Chain Emergency Provision, send the second squad and the double summon, gain 2,000 here, but double summon's effect still resolved. Set a monster, and then because double summon resolved,
To summon the almighty Slifer the Sky Dragon!
Comes out at 6 grand, and they're gonna punch her Howling for game.
It's time! Now! Go! Slifer the Sky Dragon!
The reverse sweep was so close, guys. It was in our grasp, but unfortunately we cannot deal with Slifer the Sky Dragon if we don't have ways to deal with it, and they outed our widespread, so, you know, it is what it is. The deck is Triple Brain Crusher because it is the one and only level 7 insect that is not named Insect Queen that we can play with that skill. 2 Parasite Paranoid. We cited this out early, so you guys never got to see it, but the card is still really good. It's a hand trap. It turns their monster into an insect. They can't attack our insects, and then its effects that activate by targeting insects are negated. So it's cute, and then if it's sent while it's equipped, you can special summon a 7 or higher insect from your hand, ignoring its summon conditions, aka Brain Crusher. Again, we cited it out. We brought it in the last game, but we didn't draw it, so it didn't matter. But the card, you know, it's still really good for what it does. Double Crossword Beetle, obviously this effect is almost always live because we make tokens to make it live. Triple Howling Insect, this is the new Mother Grizzly type card for insects. The cool thing is it doesn't have to go in attack mode like Mother Grizzly and the rest of them do. So it's like the recruiter for insects. 1 Gokipon. These are all one-ofs, by the way, because Howling can bring them all out. So I figure like we don't need more than 1 copy of each of these because this is like the recruiter for everything. Gokipon, when it dies by battle, adds an insect with 1500 attack or less from deck to hand. That adds everything that is not this and these. 1 Resonance Insect, obviously adds the Brain Crusher to hand. 1 Pinch Hopper, just as you saw in the replays, summons insects for free from the hand. 1 Reverse Beetle. This card is crazy, also because if it's summoned off of this, its normal / special summon effect triggers and flips things in the column face down. It's just more Book of Moons, and it's crazy. We side the second one. This card's nuts. Also doesn't target for either effect, which is also nuts. 1 Verdant Sanctuary, as you guys saw, it's just another way to add more cards faster. Triple Token SUNDAE. This may seem excessive, but with a skill that says you can make a token on every person's end phase, it's actually not that excessive, and it's just free outs. Double Creature Swap. We didn't really get to utilize Creature Swap here because we played a token mirror match, so to speak. So Creature Swap in both decks was kind of terrible. But in theory, you know, you obviously just make a token and then you swap it to your opponent for a relevant monster. 1 Supply Squad, you could make an argument for 2 with the fact that the tokens just float forever. But the deck is very consistent already. We didn't feel that we needed a second one, but I can understand playing multiples. Double Book of Moon, because our 3 ofs are 2 books and a cosmic, because they're just the most consistent, and then the 1 offerings. In the side we have the second Reversible Beetle, as we said, because this card is nuts. 1 Shield Crush, Double Dust Tornado, and Double Widespread to round it out, just because they're most generic outs and answers to stuff. And then we're going to do a double deck list today, because this deck is also nuts. The Egyptian God Slime deck, as we've been calling it, because, you know, you do play the slimes and you play the gods. 1 Cypher the Sky Dragon in the main for obvious reasons. You draw a million cards in this deck. Triple Mother Grizzly because it summons this or this. Triple Reactor Slime, this card makes tokens, as you've seen. Double Revival Jam, this card comes back and gives you infinite draw power. 1 Jam Breeding Machine, only 1 because it's not that great. You can't summon anything else except slime tokens while this is up. You can't even summon Revival Jam, which doesn't make any sense to me. In theory, it's not bad because it makes tokens, and your skill has the other effect where you can pop a Jam Breeding Machine to pop a Speller Trap they control. However, they can lock you under this if they just don't set Speller Traps. So, you know, it's a double-edged sword, but that's also why we're playing the double Cyclones and the emergency provisions, so that technically it's, you know, you have ways to get it off the field. It's not bad, but it's an easy side out, and we sided it out almost immediately in that match for the Floodgates. So it's cool, but it's not fantastic. Double Fiend Sanctuary just for free tokens. Double summon for, you know, more summons. The deck is gimmicky as all hell, but obviously you're trying to bring out the God card, just swing for game. Double Creature Swap, again, this would be crazy if we weren't playing a token mirror match. double emergency provisions, this deck needs this. Like, there's just so many ways to gain free life points off of these cards, and with all the continuous cards that we do play, I would never normally tell you to play 3 supply squad in a deck, but like this deck just like turbo draws, so you get to it as fast as possible, and then it's a free pop for either one of these later in the game. Also, provisions is really good with reflex line because this can get it from hand, deck, or graveyard. You can double cyclone this and not feel like you're losing anything because this will just reset it. Double cyclone, like I said, it's just MST in this deck, arguably, and it just also triggers other things or gets other things off the field, which is nice. It just works out really well. The triple squad is nuts, but as you've seen, you're playing a deck with Slifer the Sky Dragon, you want to draw as much as possible, even though you already do draw as much as possible. There's an argument for cutting one, but I think it's fine where it's at with these in the deck. And then double reflex slime. I really like 2 over 1. Because if you have this on the field and you hit another one of these, you can't use its effect to set another one because the one's already on the board. Second, if they banish it or find a way to out it, then you have the second one as a follow-up, which is nice. It's kind of the same reason we're on 2 of this, but also you see this / this as fast as possible, you drawing a lot of cards. In the side, we side the obelisk. We don't main it. Granted, we could. There's, room and arguments for both. It's just that this can't be targeted, and this can be. So you bring it in the matchups where this is more relevant than this. But obviously, this is just drawing. This is getting so big so quickly with all the draw power. The one Jinzo, because even though you can't tribute the tokens the turn they're summoned, you could wait a turn and then tribute them. You can't tribute these at all as long as this is on the field, but as soon as this gets off the field, this continuous effect where you can't summon except slime tokens only applies while this is here. So if you get this off the board, then the tokens are free to do with whatever you want. So you could, in theory, drop the Jinzo, and you bring it in against heavy trap decks. The Yomi ship is another target for Mother Grizzly if you just need to like out something real quick. 2 Floodgate Trap Hole, it just slows down the opponent if they're on something really fast. And then 1 Rainbow Life, this never came up, but the theory is you need to gain a lot of life, and if they're attacking you directly, you activate this, discard a card. Believe me, you have the free discards in this deck, and then you gain whatever they hit you with, and then for the rest of the turn you would gain life. So like if they have 3 monsters and they're swinging, they swing with 1, you flip this, you gain the life from that attack, and then they're obviously going to stop swinging there because otherwise they'll just keep gaining more life, which is nuts. But guys, this was a doozy. Obviously the extra decks are dead. Slime Gods versus Insect. Tokens be crazy. After this box came out, all the token decks be wild. Token SUNDAE is another card you could bring in the Slime token deck, but obviously you don't make the tokens nearly as much as you do in this. This is a lot more affordable to waste tokens for. There's just so much between tokens that we just didn't have before. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought about either one of these decks. Could we improve upon them? Because I'm sure we can definitely always improve upon them. Tell me how in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys in the next duel video.
For more amazing speed duel content, subscribe to Yugi Bros. It's time to duel!